Hello, students. Today we are going to do a dividing decimals by whole numbers problem trail. And basically, you'll pick any problem to start with and solve it, and it'll give you 3 choices for the answer. If you don't get one of those choices, you need to try again because that means your answer is incorrect. So once you find your correct answer, it'll tell you what problem to go to next, and you'll just keep solving them until you are done. I will probably not make you work all 12, so read the notes to figure out how many you need to solve. But there is a situation that you're going to need to understand. Even though I know you already know how to divide with decimals, there's a situation you're going to run across in these that I want to make sure you know how to handle. So what if we're doing something like 9 divided by 12. Maybe we've got some item that costs $9. Maybe it's a dozen donuts, and we want to figure out the price of a single donut. Well, 9 is less than 12, so how in the world is this going to work? Well, we're going to figure it out because there is something you can do. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind when we're working these is you can't have a remainder and a decimal remainder. That's 2 different kinds of remainder, and we can't mix our remainder types. So we're going to have to keep going until we don't have a remainder anymore. But we're going to work it like normal. We're going to say, okay, we're going to look at our tic-tac-toe chart, what's closest to 9 without going over. Obviously, there's nothing. We're going to underline 2 numbers. Guess what? There are not 2 numbers. So we're going to annex a decimal and a 0. Did we change the value of the 9 at all? No. It is still $9 and no dimes or no 10 cents. So we didn't change the value, so we're fine to do that. And that word that I'm using is ANNEX. You'll hear me say annexing, annex, annexed, all that kind of thing. So it's something we're going to have to think to do when we can't have a remainder for our remainder and we need a decimal instead. We're going to have to annex 0 sometimes. Okay, so now we've got the number 90. We're going to look at our chart, and the closest thing to 90 without going over is 84. And we look at 84, and it's in the times 7 slot, so the 7 goes up top. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to have to borrow, and that's going to leave me with 10 minus 4 is 6. Now, I can't have a remainder because I'm going to have a decimal. I can't mix my remainders. I can just add another 0 over here and bring it down. Now I've got 60. When I look at my chart, I can see that 5 times 12 is 60. And when I subtract, I'm going to get 0. So just like usual, we're going to bring our decimal straight up. You'll notice that I was very careful when I was writing my quotient up top that I made sure the 0 was directly above the 9. And I made sure the 7 was directly above the tenths place and the 5 was directly above the hundredths place.